I want to begin by expressing gratitude to the generous sponsors of the awards that we'll be presenting today. George D. Smith and Martha Bradley Evans of the Smith Pettit Foundation, who sponsor the Smith Pettit Best Book Award. The Whittemore Best Documentary History Award is sponsored by Dan and Beth Whittemore, who are here with us. The Alma Blair Best Biography Award is sponsored by Eric and Stephanie Rogers. Catherine Pollock sponsors the Pollock Best Historical Article Award. Greg and Cynthia Coford sponsor the Greg Coford Best Historical Article Award. And the Suzanne Geisner and Jerry Mogg Best Theological Article Award is sponsored by Joe Geisner and Jerry Mogg. All of the books and articles that have been nominated for awards are in your program on pages 11 to 13. So I encourage you to go look at those nominations and to read those books and articles. I'm especially grateful to the members of my committee, to Makoto Hunter, John Dinger, Dima Hurlbut, members of the Book Awards Committee, and Julianne Briscoe, David Wilson, Robin Spears, and Bryce Blankenagel, members of the Article Award Committee. I so much appreciate their many hours of reading and consideration, and for their support for the Awards Committee. I'm going to turn the time. I've enlisted members of the committees to present the awards, and so I'll turn the time now to John Dinger, who will present the Smith Pettit Best Book Award.
All right, this year's Smith Pettit Best Book Award goes to Vengeance Is Mine, The Mountain Meadow Massacre and Its Aftermath by Rick Turley and Barbara Jones Brown. So I don't know that anyone would call this a fun read, but Turley and Brown did an amazing job of taking a traumatic, emotional, gut-wrenching event and helped make sense of it, as much as one can make sense of such horrific violence. So after reviewing the events of the massacre itself, the book focuses on the investigation and the prosecution or attempted prosecution of the crime. And Turley and Brown have just taken a large amount of primary source material and translated it into an engaging read that teaches us about the massacre itself, but also allows us to reflect on the themes of mob mentality and why people choose to participate in such heinous acts.
Barbara and Rick, did you want to comment? I should have given you that opportunity.
It's been a great honor to work on this for 19 years of my life now. And we've done it for the descendants of the victims and the victims themselves to make sure that those victims are never forgotten and that all of us can learn from this and do better and seek a less violent world and seek healing and reconciliation. I know there are a lot of descendants of perpetrators in the audience, and there are a lot of descendants of victims in the audience. And could my friends from Arkansas, could you just stand up really quick? Anyone who would like to come and talk with them and express your sorrow and express how you feel about the massacre, I would encourage that. Thank you very much.
I want to echo Barbara's statement, particularly about the relatives of the victims who are here and the wonderful experiences we've had in their homes with their great hospitality, listening to what they've been able to tell us about the massacre from the perspective of those who were the victims. Often we hear that history is written by the victors. We made a concerted effort to tell the story as it was felt by the victims. I also want to thank the many people in this room who contributed in numerous ways to help produce a book like this. A book like this isn't an independent effort, it's a team effort, so thanks to all the team.
I'll invite Makoto Hunter to come forward to present the Whittemore Best Documentary History Award.
We're pleased to be able to present this year's Whittemore Best Documentary History Award to Amy Tanner Theriot for her remarkable Slavery in Zion, a documentary and genealogical history of Black lives and Black servitude in Utah Territory, 1847 to 1862. Amy is unable to attend this was unable to attend this year, but has expressed her wish that she could have made it, and we're so delighted to honor her with this award. The difficulty of recovering the history of slavery and of the enslaved is a long-known challenge in American history, much less Latter-day Saint and Utah history. In Slavery in Zion, Theriot brings to bear her skills as both a historian and genealogist. Having combed archives and shown her work, Slavery in Zion show provides a thorough, comprehensive, instructive, and even moving account of the Black American experience in early Utah Territory. Her prose narrates with clarity how early Euro-American Utah colonizers brought and perpetuated slavery in the region, and how Black Americans experienced and fought through it. Interspersed biographies of individual enslavers and of individual enslaved provide historical accountability and a touch of the personal, respectively. More than an education in the facts of history, Slavery in Zion also teaches readers the methods of history and genealogy on the topic of enslavement, illustrating and deconstructing popular myths and folklore that soften slavery and family stories, walking readers through how to recover all too often marginally recorded lives. We're honored to recognize this contribution to Latter-day Saint history, a treasure for the professor, student, and enthusiast alike.
So it's my pleasure and honor to announce the Alma Blair Best Biography Award, and it goes to Stephen C. Taysom for his exceptional work, Like a Fiery Meteor, The Life of Joseph F. Smith, published by University of Utah Press. Taysom's meticulously researched and engagingly written biography offers a fresh perspective on one of the most pivotal figures in Latter-day Saint history. Through vivid storytelling and insightful analysis, he illuminates the complex character of Joseph F. Smith, revealing a man deeply committed to his faith and family, while also grappling with the challenges of leadership in a rapidly changing world. Reviewers have praised Taysom's ability to bring Smith to life and capture his triumphs and struggles. His exploration of Smith's role in shaping the church and its doctrines is particularly noteworthy. By delving into Smith's personal life and experiences, Taysom provides a rich and nuanced portrait of a man who continues to inspire and fascinate. The John Whitmer Historical Association is honored to recognize Stephen C. Taysom's outstanding contribution to Restoration Movement scholarship. Stephen couldn't be with us today, but he provided a surrogate. We invite Joseph DeWars to come forward and on behalf of Steve to receive this award.
So I asked Steve, what do you want me to say on your behalf? And if you know Steve, that's a dangerous question to ask. And so surprisingly, his only response to me was, thank you. That was his reply. So thank you.
Tell Steve you're welcome. I'll invite Julianne Briscoe to present I'm sorry, I'm going to get out of order here. David Wilson, sorry, Julianne. David Wilson to present the Pollock Best Historical Article Award. Thank you.
I am pleased to announce that the 2023 Pollock Best Historical Article Award goes to David Dimitri Holbert for a supervisory type of thing, the establishment and impact of the Latter-day Saint mission in post-colonial southeastern Nigeria, published by the Journal for the Institute of African Studies. David, unfortunately, is not able to be with us today. In his article, A Supervisory Type of Thing, the establishment and impact of the Latter-day Saint mission in post-colonial southeastern Nigeria, David Dimitri Holbert looks at the effect of opening Nigeria as a mission field. Following the 1978 LDS revelation, which opened the priesthood to black males, the LDS Church found that ministerial fields that they had previously felt were closed to them became open. One of those was Nigeria, where they had been asked to send missionaries since 1946. In entering the mission field, leadership decided that the approach of sending young men to the area would not be sufficient. The church sent missionary couples to the area who felt underprepared for what they were to encounter. Over the years, they faced issues with culture, differences in the practice of Christianity that the native people were familiar with, and developing local leadership for the wards. Holbert looks at the issues encountered, gives examples of what the missionaries faced, and talks of the strategy employed.
Now, Julianne, sorry about that. Julianne Briscoe will present the Greg Koford Best Historical Article Award. Julianne.
I'm pleased to announce that the Greg Koford Best Historical Article goes to David J. Howlett and Nancy Ross for creating a feminist religious counterpublic, RDS Feminist and Women's Ordination, Advocacy in America, 1970 to 1985. And we as a committee were looking for articles that expanded Mormon history, scholarship into areas that haven't been explored, and groups that have largely been ignored throughout history. Nancy and David's article, Creating a Religious Counterpublic, or LDS Feminist and Women's Ordination Advocacy in America, 1970 to 1985, definitely did that. We found it an easy and fascinating read that explored the tireless efforts of different women and organizations fighting to be allowed ordination in the RLDS Church, as well as other churches. With that, we give our congratulations to Nancy and David for writing such a fantastic article. And Nancy, would you like to say something?
David is sorry that he cannot be here today to receive this article with me, and we're just very grateful to the awards committee and the organization.
And Bryce Blankenagel will present the Suzanne Geisner and Jerry Mogg Best Theological Article Award.
All right, so for our Susan and Jerry Mogg Best Theological Article, we have an article titled Not Only to the Gentiles, but also to the African, Samuel Chambers and Scripture, written by Janice Johnston and Quincy Newell, published through Cambridge University Press. Unfortunately, Quincy is unable to be with us, but I believe Janice is here. My mistake. In any case, pardon me, this remarkable article explored the theological discussions offered by one Samuel Chambers, a Black Latter-day Saint living in Utah Territory, attending Deacon's Quorum throughout his life. The article utilized extensive firsthand documents relying heavily on the minutes from the meetings wherein Chambers actually detailed his vast and inclusive theology. And it's based on his numerous testimonies. The authors were able to pinpoint language used by Chambers in order to provide evidence that he was heavily influenced by his participation in quote-unquote invincible institution churches services while he was a slave. His testimonies exhibit a man committed to his faith in the Book of Mormon, steeped in biblical theology, and actively participating in a society that systematically oppressed him. And articles like this increase visibility of historically invisible characters, and Johnson and Newell did an excellent job offering readers a window into the lived experience of 19th century Black Mormon culture. And I personally, because I enjoyed it so much, I want to thank them both for providing such an interesting article.
Again, I want to express thanks to the authors and publishers for these outstanding publications. Can we give them all another round of applause? I'll turn the time now to Kyle Walker for some additional recognition.
Thank you, Eric. We want to recognize our scholarship recipients from this year, and I think there's 4 recipients, and they have also been assisting with the conference logistics and presenting papers at the conference today. First is Zachary Brady, if you want to come forward. He's a student at Utah State University studying English. So Zachary, let's give Zachary a round of applause. Makoto Hunter, if you'll come forward. Studying at the University of California, Santa Barbara in history. Makoto. And all the way from Germany, Allegra Goldstrass, if you'll come forward, working on a master's degree in religious studies at Ruhr University in Bochum, Germany. And finally, Cyrus Simper, who has a sociology degree from BYU, Idaho, so close to home for me. I know Cyrus at school. He's also pursuing a PhD in computational social science. Cyrus, come on over. We also have several recognition awards. Matthew Harris, if you want to come forward, for excellence in leadership and for your contributions to the association as serving as the MHA liaison 2023-2024, and our president-elect coming up. So, Matt, come on forward.
Been great to work with Matt. And also, we want to recognize Susan Staker, if you'll come forward, for your contributions to the association as the JWHA Books License 2023-2024. Okay, we have one more award tonight. We don't do this every year, but we have a special presidential award this year. This award is in recognition for continual and significant contributions to the John Whitmer Historical Association. It is my pleasure to introduce Rachel Killebrew, the recipient of the 2024 Presidential Award. Rachel, you just want to stand here for a minute? I'll brag on Rachel for just a minute here. Rachel became a member of John Whitmer Historical Association in 2011 after her employer instructed her to get involved with a historical organization, and she selected JWHA. It didn't take long for her to get actively involved. She served on the board of directors and on almost every committee that we have available, including as the president of JWHA in 2018-2019. She grew up in Independence, Missouri, and is a lifelong member of the Community of Christ, sixth generation member, is that right? She has a bachelor's degree in history and education, and she currently works as the Community of Christ librarian and archivist. And if you've worked with Rachel, and I have, she's amazing. Very prompt with requests, very professional, and very competent. She describes herself as scrappy, and her husband Dan has also made great contributions to JWHA. He's back in the back. Dan, wave. He's been very helpful. Let's give Dan a hand too for all his contributions. Rachel loves interacting with JWHA members and conference attendees. She appreciates the education that JWHA offers, the new discoveries that are made and shared, the opportunity to learn, and JWHA allows you to be yourself and to, quote, tuck in your crazy, unquote, and learn new and exciting things. True leaders see themselves in the big picture, the larger goals, and see themselves as just one of the many cogs that make the association successful and help people to feel good about themselves. Rachel has touched many of our members' lives, and enough that one of them wrote a poem about her. So I'm going to read that poem. For better or for worse, we are readers, researchers. Our eyes have weakened from poring over tomes, yet we would have it no other way. For in a book, there are worlds opened up to us, and the bringer of those worlds is the librarian, the archivist. She allows us to drop into the paper, spelunk into its ideas. For her, we are grateful, for without her, we are left with a world less adventurous, less artful, less remarkable. To the librarian, in an age where books are often electronic things with no feeling of the scratchy paper and hard covers, may she always bring the gospel of a more sophisticated time where our entry into the real world was through a book. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Killebrew, 2024 recipient of the Presidential Award.